Hello again, Charge42 here with more Mega Man Battle Network 3. This is part 7, yes, 7 of my speedrun guide, and today we set some things on water. This guide walks you through the entire game scenario by scenario and provides all of the information needed to follow along, even if you've never played these games before. This guide is designed for new runners, but covers many important and fundamental aspects that are relevant at all levels of gameplay. I'll be playing on the white version, however, the route works on blue as well. But enough exposition. Let's begin. So last time we took care of FlamMan and saved our friend Mamoru. This time we gotta go deal with this guy, who's gonna cause a whole lot of trouble. And to start, we're gonna go to Scilab and receive our commendation for doing such a good job in burning specific parts of the hospital. First you gotta talk to this guy, and he talks for him. Okay, now we can go. Skip cutscene, go outside, skip cutscene, it's Mr. Match. Go back inside, go into the net. So, there are a couple World 3 navies causing trouble. Alright, Snake Run's still in. If you switched to Oil Body in the previous scenario, switch back to Snake Run at this point. And we've got to go stop the World 3 navies. The first batch is in Yoka, so that's where we're going to go. Take the train. Now, if you didn't in the previous scenario, now would be an opportunity to buy this HP memory. But if you don't have enough Zenny for it yet, we will be back here another time. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it now, because I'll probably forget later. But I will remind you if I don't forget. If you need water chips, then consider not equipping Snake Run until after going through Yoka. These fights can be kind of tough, so save beforehand if you're not 100% confident. Because these storm boxes cause problems. Okay, don't take the chips first and then take Diablo. There we go. Alright. So Invis makes you immune to the pushback of the wind. And it's like if you're Elec or Aqua, you can charge shot that guy pretty good. If you're wood, you can't, and if you're heat, you kind of can't, because when you stop to use your flamethrower, you get pushed back before it actually comes out. So Rock Shot is a really good option to take the fans out once they're by themselves, or you can do Tri-Slash. Again, Tri-Slash is simply hold A, left B, right B. And I did it kind of slowly. That's okay, we get to show off punch. So I'll put this in the folder when we get folder 2 from Tora. But last scenario I didn't have a lot of fights, this one does, so anyway, what happens is whenever you push A, he attacks, and it does 90 damage. He's really cool. Oh yeah, I changed that. So before you place him, what you want to do is hold forward, get pushed back, hold forward again, and then push A. That would be the thing to do. I could put the rock cube down and then use Gut Punch to push it, but I actually don't know what that would do to Pawn. Alright buddy, we're gonna do science. Don't hold this against me. Now I'm sad. Alright, this is for you. Gut straight. Now let's hold a BB down left right B, which is technically harder than Elemental Slash, but for some reason it's easier as well. Pawn does disappear after a set amount of time. So you could wait for the pawn to disappear and then rock shot. Or just, you know, put pawn in the right place in the first place, and then you won't encounter such a situation. Okay, that's what we'll do. So I want to do this, and then this. Dang. Put the rock cube here. So with Invis, you're not pushed by the wind anyway, but with the rock cube, you can use that to kind of give yourself a closer position, so it's easier to hit with Hero Sword or anything else. Just gonna do this. So we're gonna rocket punch and then double back and rock shot, because then you can use it as a projectile. Alright, and so now we get an email saying that they're in beach area, and you could walk there, but it's almost equal in time to jackhammer back in, because you have to like go through the press path, go back to the square, and then take the train. Whereas here, we just go take the train. And this has the benefit of refilling your health, so any damage you take in those fights is recovered. I hope you like the internet theme, because you're gonna hear a lot of it this scenario. Fortunately, I didn't. I do encourage safety saves for most of like all of these fights. You don't have to, but you know, safe than sorry and all that. Oh, so Boomer always goes down first. The Matara's gonna attack. Iframes will give you immunity to the wind. So move down, copy damage. Circle back in front of the Matar, Hero Sword, kills those two, and then you just got a one box to deal with. Swag! Yeah. It's like, that is so satisfying. So satisfying. Especially with the safety saving. I like the damage boost in a lot of these fights, and so saving is that much more important, because you're going to just get less and less health each time. Dodging's overrated. Dodging is slow. Alright, so here I'm going to just rock shot that guy. I'm going to move down here so these guys are synced up. And, oh, we got pawn. Alright, so we're doing this. So I'm going to wait for them to attack. I'm going to copy damage that one, pawn, and then boom, and they're both dead. And now pawn is holding me forward. What a good guy. Although he does stab me in the back. But to be fair, this is just payback for destroying him with a rock cube. So pawn, you know, buddy, we'll call it even. You should save that. Should save that. Just saying. So we're gonna rock shot and then pushing it back. Actually, yeah. I'll be dead. So the Slimer will slowly eat all of your area, but you'll always have room to dodge the fishy. Like before you run completely out of area, you should be able to take care of one or the other. Alright, so hold forward and see you kind of get pushed back in a predictable rhythm, so you've got like a few frames and you can buffer the attack usage as you're moving onto the front tiles so that you can hit it in the back row. Step cross, hero sword, both effective in that way. And that takes care of all of the beach area. So now we go to the final area, which is Scilab. And it's just one guy. Again, if you need Zenny or rock cubes, just pick up all the GMD. Just pick them all up. If you don't need Zenny, you shouldn't, because there's nothing in there that would help you. But if you need Zenny, it's good. So knowing Zenny thresholds is very important, but what exactly your threshold is depends on which route you're following. Zenny route is really complicated, and it is certainly the thing that took me the most time to figure out what I wanted to do for mine, and my personalized route. So talk to this guy. And again, I didn't shave, but I should have. Ooh, so I'm gonna use. Yeah, one of them won't get affected by this, I think, because yeah, Fire's guy is gonna move forward. The Pawn Champ is just gonna cut these guys down, and they can't do nothing. And so you're pretty much safe unless you move in front of him. Pawn will eventually disappear, but we're just going to rock shot this guy and call it a day. I like that the rock passes through him. So plot happens, but we're going to skip all that, and now we get an email. You don't have to read the email, but basically it says go to AC/DC Square. So go to AC/DC Square. Water is very important in this scenario. And the quickest way to get there is to actually use the Scilab shortcut to get to Yai's HP, which is neat. It's kind of like the opposite. Instead of going from Yai's HP to Scilab Square, use it in reverse. Another opportunity for Zenny. And you are sneak running, so going out of your way to pick up these Grand Mystery Datas has less of a time cost. 500. Rick up 30 star. Now I can do the help my Navi is sick job and get an extra reg up 3, which is a viable strategy for the white version. And you go talk to this guy. Let's get the cutscene. And now we need to go to Lamar. Who is still at the hospital, but feeling much better. And we're going to take the stairs because it's faster and better. And we're going to talk to Mamoru, and he's like, thanks, Lan. Here, have the code to the hospital. And then you get an email or a phone call from Mr. Match, who basically tricks Lan into helping him. Real stand-up guy, that Mr. Match. So we're gonna go back to Scilab and we're gonna hang out with our good buddy, Mr. Match. So you talk to him and he gives you some fire data, and we're gonna go give it to Mr. Prog. So shoutouts to Prog Champ. Panel grab star. I want to have like all the panel grab stars. Folder of nothing but panel grab star. And you talk to this guy and you give him the fire data and he's like, wow, that's really high. Fire data. Then we talk to him and we get heat data. So we got fire data, now we got heat data. These are suspicious. We're gonna go over here and give it to this guy. And this is so that the Mr. Prog can make hot drinks. Perfectly benign. It's like, now I'll be great at making hot coffee. Hot coffee. And now we go up to Dad's lab, which is apparently on the 5th floor of Scilab. We'll be on the test later. And we get Flam data. And it didn't really occur to me for a long time, but if you think about Mr. Match's navies, then the data is actually kind of neat. Soothe away any fatigue. And this is very important. Talk to Mr. Match. And then skip the cutscene. More than one person has forgotten to do that and just went back to Land's room. And then got very confused when nothing happened. So now that we've helped Mr. Match, we got even with him because he helped us. And by the time we get to the room, Scilab is on fire. So now we gotta go back to Scilab. And you talk to this guy, that's a cutscene, skip it. And we get a message from Mr. Match that says, "Hey Lan, thanks for helping me set Scilab on fire. You're a good friend. But I'll tell you what, if you put out all of the fires on the internet, then me and you can have a duel, and if you win, then Scilab won't be on fire anymore." So, it's everybody's favorite time, net fires. Oh, but we got sneak run and we got water chips, so let's just do it. If you haven't yet, take the water chips out of folder 2. And if you used all of the fire chips from earlier, Mr. Match gave you lava stage, by the way. Excellent. If you've used all the fire chips, then when you sort by elements, you've got all of the water chips up at the top. And like if you're playing the blue version, you're probably buying all the water chips you need, so you'll have like a specific amount. If you're playing the white version, it's depending on how many you get from fights and whatnot. And so we're just going to run these. Halfway through the scenario, we're going to do shopping for some additional water chips, and how many you buy and what you buy depends on which version of the game you are. But we'll go over all those details. So for now, sort by element, put the water chips at the top, and you can burn pretty much all these. There's no water chips you need to keep. That's it. So let's go. Let's set some things on water. And just enjoy the internet theme. There's 3 fires per area, and some of them contain random viruses, which you can run from. Rip Iceball M. And some of them contain extra water chips, which is why you only need so many. There's 3 fires per area, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 areas total. And you get like 14 free water chips. You need... You get like 10, you need 14? I forget the math exactly. I'll put it in the description or something. I can't think right now. If you're on the blue version, this is your last opportunity to come by those 3 bubblers. Very important that you do so, if you have not already. And since you're running across all of every area, you pass by most green mystery data spawn locations, so go ahead and pick them up if you need any extra zenny. Because we will be buying more water chips so that we can, well, use them to put out more fire. I'm gonna take a little detour down here to put out this fire, and there's like no reason for it, but like FlamMan is right there, so just don't go all the way to the end of this dead end. Or do. I mean, I can't tell you how to play the game, but it would not be fast. Oh, one downside of picking up the green mystery data is sometimes you'll get a chip and then you have to like go down. But you can always just resort by element when that happens. Which I guess I'll do since now I have spreader O as well. So it's like there were 2 by Land's house, and then there was 1 over here by Dex's. And once you clear all the fires for a particular area, like AC/DC, Mr. Match will call you and be like, "Doing pretty good, buddy." And we're gonna go to Yoka's, the second area. So AC/DC, Yoka, Scilab, Beach is how we're gonna do it. Now, if you haven't yet, this is the last chance to buy the HP memory here for 4,000 zenny, which I already did. And if you're on the blue version and you have extra zenny, this vendor sells Shake 1R, I think? It's Shake 1 something. If you buy that, you can ship order Shake 1S when we go buy water chips, which you can then trade for Varsword B. So it's about like 9,600 zenny for another Varsword. So if you have 10,000 zenny to spare, then buy Shake 1 here as well. I'm gonna put this fire out. As opposed to leaving it, I don't know. 3 of the fires contain zenny, and it will be either 100 or 200 or 300 or 400 zenny. And it's just random. So in the zenny route, I've got like 3 sections, which say, you know, like Yoka Fire 1, Yoka Fire 2, Scilab Fire 1, and got 100 zenny next to it. And so it's like that 300 zenny is accounted for, but technically there's an additional 900 that you could potentially have off of RNG. So it's like tiny little variations like that. Just an extra little wrinkle in the... Oh, and sometimes you'll get like a water encounter here. And actually, we have fish, so if you still need water chips and you don't have a lot of zenny, what you can do instead is like take sneak run out so you get encounters and put fish in, and then just like rearrange press. And that way you will only get fights that have water viruses, and so you can pick up a few additional water chips. I think this area is better than the next one, so you'd want to farm them here. That's kind of like the worst case scenario when you can't afford any extra water chips from Higsby and you still need more. Go to Yoka 2 and just equip fish. I'm just going to go ahead and use Untrap because we're going to get both of the green mystery data in this area. Because these are the ones that contain the most zenny. And we pass by all of the green mystery data spawns because we have to go all the way to the end to get the fire. 3,000, that's not bad. 1,500 zenny is how much it cost to buy Bubside from chip order. So it's basically, I got 2 water chips from that. You have to go all the way to the end. So a GMD can spawn here, and that is the farthest possible GMD spawn, and you only pass it twice. Once on the way to Bubble Man and once right now. The other 7 you pass a couple other times, like during tour jobs and whatnot. Yeah, we gotta go all the way to the end. Getting through those press paths takes forever. But since we got Sneak Run, it's not so bad. And you get 2 water chips there. And then Mr. Match calls you because you've got all the fires in Yoka. And we're still going to jack out because backtracking would take forever. But this is the midpoint, and this is where we're going to go buy water chips. So we're going to go take advantage of Higsby's chip order system. And the way chip order works is a little interesting. But first, you want to count your water chips. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need 9. There are 12 fires remaining, and you get 3, so you need 9. I've got 5, so I have to buy 4. The last thing we burned gave us 2 firesides, so if you completely run out of chips at the end of Yoka, you'll need to buy 7 water chips. So you should never need to buy more than 7 if you follow this route, but you may need to buy less if you've got extra, especially on the white version where it's more variable. I have 5, so I need to buy 4. So you go into the chip order, and we go down to Bubbler and Bubside, and normally, it's like we bought Bubbler earlier and he was sold out, right? So he got another one. How did that happen? So let's buy it. Oh, okay, another one. 2, 3, okay, and he's out. So, how did he have 3? Well, we bought one initially, and we had 2 from random encounters earlier, so we had 3 bubblers, and we energy changed all of those. Every time you energy change a chip or you put it into the chip trader, Higsby adds 1 to his chip order stock. So that's how we can like take all these bubblers and all these Bubsides, burn them, buy them back, and then burn them a second time. Which is good because Bubbler is like a really cheap water chip and Bubside's only 1,500, so it's not too expensive, but the more bubblers you can buy, the better. Which is why on the blue version, it's especially nice that you can buy 3 bubblers from AC/DC 2, because when you buy the chip order and those 3, that's 4 bubblers, and then you burn them all and you buy them a second time. So you get 8 bubblers for really cheap, 8 water chips for really cheap, which is nice. White version though, unless you pick up bubblers from random encounters, you're going to have to buy some Bubsides. So I only need 1 more water chip, so I'm going to buy 1. But all of those Bubsides that we picked up from the fires and then burnt, there's more than enough Bubsides for sale to get you all the chips that you need. Let's see. I'm curious. You can buy Ice Wave 1, but it's 2,000, so Bubside's better. I can't remember how much of Metagel. Okay, Metagel is the same price as Bubside. So, just double check. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got my 9 water chips, and we can continue. Only we're gonna go to Yai's this time. Because Yai has that shortcut to Scylab. So we need to do Scilab. And the last area we do is beach because it's where, well, it's where FireMan is. FlamMan. FlamMan? Flam? Spelling? I forgot to burn that fire once because I was trying to burn it on the return trip because I was like, oh, that'll save a turn frame. But ended up forgetting it and had to go all the way back to get it. Gotta watch out for that movement optimization. Get too caught up in the details of saving turn frames, you end up going the wrong way. Which is pretty funny, actually. $670. There's a few more shops that you pass that have things that you could buy, so depending on what you intend to purchase. All 3 fires gave me 100 zenny. I swear they can drop more. I mean, I have enough zennies, so it's fine. But it's just rude, really. Alright. 3 areas down, 1 to go. I wonder what that is. Sure, it's not important. To the final area. Got straight R. Oh boy, now I can do 7 stars. So it's important to do this second area first. And we're gonna do it in a particular way, but as long as you get all of them, it doesn't matter. $3,000 zenny. I can't put fire out with cut straight R. Oh, you're not trying hard enough, Mega. Okay, now this is very important. Do not step on that moving pathway. You go over here, use the hospital code that Mamoru gave you. And this is not the right way. Walk around the portal. But this is a very important purple mystery data, so we're going to use our last unlocker on it, and it contains Spin Pink. Which, now that you have that, you could actually go ahead and put in Fast Gauge. Which I guess we'll do before we fight FlamMan, but we'd have to take Energy Change out. So we'll edit it when we get to the Undernet. I'm going to go ahead and burn Metagel 1C. Because now there's only 3 fires left and I've got 3 water chips in there all at the time. Hey, it's a Snowblow. Those drop Airstorm 1. This is the best place to get Airstorm 1. I have been routing a lot of 100%. And so switching back to any percent's kind of been a little surreal. But I think we got everything. It's a virus with 2 exclamation marks. Very excited about this virus. So, if you have 10,000 zenny to spare, and honestly I should have brought this up as an option when I was fighting the heal navies from earlier. On the blue version, this guy sells a Var sword. So, you could get another Var sword before FlamMan, which is pretty cool. We are, well, it's white version so I can't, but I'm not gonna get that. Because as much as I push Var swords, like any sort of command code style thing has some inherent difficulty in it. And some people will over and over again make the statement like elemental slash is easy, trash slash is easy. But it's not free. It's like it does take practice and effort to get good at those. Oh, that's where we use tally, by the way. So, like, sometimes I get discouraged from people saying, like, why do you keep missing elemental slash? So, just know that someone else acknowledges the difficulty of these things and don't feel bad for missing them. Fortunately, we can one-turn escape from, I think, all of these areas. We need 480 for Area 3, but we will get the HP memory there. I don't believe there's anything worth editing in the folder. Everything should still be good. Technically, you could consider regging Invis. Invis is a very nice chip. But the main thing right now is that I'm going to edit the Navicus. We're going to take out energy change, and I'm going to change stuff up a bit. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and make it look like this. This is going to require a little bit of extra editing as a result of the next scenario. And I don't have notes for this because normally you do it in the next selection, so I hadn't wrote it down, but I'll add it to the description. So I think that, so the way you compress something is you hold select, and then I believe it's nope. Okay. It is B down A, R left R. And this is why we got spin pink, because now that it's compressed, we can fit it in at the bottom. And we can put in that last charge. So this is a pretty nice looking Navicus. And we don't have to do the fast gauge command code, so we don't have the -2 chip starting penalty. So we'll have 6 chips and fast gauge. And you can do another mod code. And there's 2 that you can do. One gives you an extra 1,000 hit points. So you could do it now, use the full energy, and have, like, you know, 1,500 health when you go fight FlamMan, which if you're wood style, might not be a bad idea. The other code you could do is like SuperArmor, so you don't flinch, which makes doing elemental slash a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about getting hit and being interrupted. Especially on white, where you have fewer invises. Because in blue, you usually get invis and Var sword, and you just use both. So those are the 2 mod codes I'd recommend. I'm wondering if I should use either of them. I think I won't, just because I'm lazy. But I'll include the potential command codes in the description for those who wish to use them. I like the Undernet theme. I like Undernet in 2, 3, and 4. They're all good, they're also all very different. How the areas look and the theme. Theme song, the music. Okay. Well, we got 6 chips to draw from now. And we haven't got the HP memory yet, so it's going to take 2 turns to escape from this fight. Volcano spits lava in your area. The spikies shoot you. Kind of dangerous. Pretty easy to get hit. Takes 2 turns to escape. Custom gauge fills in like 4 seconds though, so it's not so bad. And then you get the HP memory here, and now you can 1 turn escape. And I recommend saving, especially if you're wood style, because this fight has a lot of fire viruses in it, and the next fight is FlamMan, who is a fire virus. Who's fireman? Wow, we drew Hero Sword. That's tempting because it would destroy these guys, but I will resist so that I can show you some other stuff. Now, whenever these guys go, they leave behind a trail. If you don't have air shots, so you can't do rock cube, bait one into attacking, and then drop the rock cube where it is, which will knock it back. Air shot will push the thing, so now he's stuck next to the cannon. Can't hit me. The fire trail dissipates fast enough that if you have it go at the top and have it go at the bottom, you dodge it at, well, I'll just show you. So, that works. And that's that. So, FlamMan is right after this, so, like, if you need to use that full energy we picked up, now would be a good time. It will be especially useful in the next scenario, but if you need to use it now, you can always just buy another one. They're only 1,000. I definitely recommend having one for the next scenario. This is FlamMan. Let's go. Let's go, FlamMan. Spreader's pretty good. I kind of want to add chips. We got full cust. Get rid of these. So we'll start with spreader. I'll kind of just show you. Go in the middle. Go in the middle. Go in the middle. Go in the middle. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah. So the candles have like 8 health. So you can take it out with spreader, air shot, a charge shot, with most elements, or 8 buster shots buffering back and forth. The green ones make him invincible, so you have to destroy the green candles before you can hurt him. And after a while, the candles come back, and they go in a fixed pattern, where the bottom one is green, green, and red, and the top one is green, yellow, green. For the first 3. I don't know what they are after that because normally he's dead, and you really don't want to keep destroying the candles because every time they come back green is a really bad problem and you have to deal with it. I guess we'll find out. Because like as long as you try to bait him to attacking the sides, as long as he doesn't attack the middle, you can stand in the middle, he'll be safe from the flames, not to attack. Oops. I wanted to hit the candle. The red one gives him health regeneration, so you can see that coming back. So let's find out what's after yellow. I think this is red. So technically, as long as you aren't worried about a damage race, okay, no, it's yellow. So it's green, yellow, green, yellow. I'll find out what it is. The red one's the easiest to deal with as far as dodging stuff, but it gives him a lot of health regeneration. Okay, maybe not that much health regeneration. So really, if you get it to double red candles, then you can just go for rock shot master style, step cross master style. I can't air shot. All sorts of things, really. Grass stage elemental slash to one shot him because the grass will be double, and then what? Will it? Nah, that won't one shot him because it'll do 320, 320, 160, 160. So it'll do 960. Bar sword plus 10. So he can do a different attack. Like, it's not always a straight line. And I wonder if he won't do it until he gets low health. But if he charges back for longer than normal, he's going to do a spread breath attack to where it's 1 and then 3 and then 5. But I don't think he's going to do that because his health is too high. Oh, actually, here, this could be good. We'll do this and this. Ah, messed it up. But air shot doesn't cause iframes, and the gut straight input doesn't cause iframes, so you could hit him with all of those for a bunch of damage. Yeah. Oh, you can also use Pawn Champ. Pawn is actually pretty interesting because you can put him on one of the candles and just keep mashing A, so that'll take out one of the candles from kind of forever. Another thing you can do with bar swords, if you don't want to do elemental slash, is if you just do tri-slash, the first wave, as long as he's not invincible, the first one will hit him, and then the second one will take out both candles if you're in the middle. Ah, I messed up E-slash. Alright. Fire, water, lightning, grass. Fire powers combined. We're gonna beat up FlamMan. We're gonna punch him so hard, he's gonna lose another letter out of his name. Just got him FlamMan. Oh, counter hit, we get buck breaks. That's FlamMan. He can be kind of annoying because of the candles, but just with a little bit of practice, and take him down. The safe thing to do is, again, get it to double reds, which for the bottom one it goes green, green, red. The top one was what? Yellow, green, red. So, and then hold start to skip the cutscene, and oh no, there's another fight. It's base. What are we gonna do? Save me, Pawn Champ. Rock shot, destroy his aura. I know, I missed. Elemental slash, it's not working. And I'm dead. Well, that's awkward. But it's a scripted loss, so actually what you should do is just step forward and not do anything. And actually, the more damage you take in the FlamMan fight, the faster that goes. Each one of those projectiles does 200 damage. And then you hold start to skip it, and yeah. That's it, that's FlamMan done. So now we gotta go to Scilab and check on Dad. Make sure he didn't melt completely. Like maybe just a little singe. Everybody's looking around like, what's going on? Oh, if in Yoka you bought Shake 1 R, and then when you chip ordered for the water chips you bought Shake 1 S, this is the guy you talk to give him the Shake 1 S, and he trades you a Bar Sword B. But this is white version, so I do not have that. And cutscene. You go check on Dad, and I guess he's suffering from heat exhaustion, so he gets taken to the hospital, and Lan's feeling pretty guilty, so we're gonna go home and sulk about it. AC/DC. Still can't use Dex's house. And save. And that's it. That's the FlamMan scenario. So, kind of a long one, but it's mostly just backtracking and dealing with water chips. However, next scenario is, well, so from this point on is what I consider the best part of the game. We'll get to that next time though. So, Mega Man Battle Network 3 is a long speedrun, but we'll get through it one scenario at a time. If you have any questions about the game or the run, ask in the comments below. Check the description for additional links to various resources, including the full playlist. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, maybe even learned something. And next time, we get ranked. Until then, take care.